Hello and welcome to Analysis. I am Oyi Adekunle. Nigerians on Wednesday woke up to yet another depressing news of abduction of some staff and students of the Government Science College Kagara in Rafi local government area of Niger State. The armed gunmen were said to have attacked around 2 a.m. on Wednesday, beginning from the school staff quarters to the dormitory housing the students. Now, this development has forced the state governor Abubakar Bello to order the immediate closure of all boarding schools in the bandit-ravaged areas of the state. President Muhammadu Buhari has also tasked security chiefs to coordinate the rescue operations for the victims. Joining me now to discuss more on this development is Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst and columnist, who joins us via Skype from Abuja. And Mr. Ojo, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Now, this incident is becoming one too many. Is this not huge enough, or what do you think is stopping the federal government from actually declaring a state of emergency on security?
Well, I don't think it's more of a declaration of state of emergency. The Senate today has asked the president to do that, but I think it goes beyond declaration of state of emergency. Even if you do declare state of emergency, what are you going to do differently? I think we have failed the student generation in Nigeria. Way back in 2015, if I can remember very well, we had what is called Safe School Initiatives. That was championed by the former British Prime Minister, Cameron, Donald Cameron, and some other private sector participants. But what has happened to the state, to the so-called Safe School Initiatives? The governor of Niger State has ordered closure of all boarding schools in the state. Is that the same? Is that the way we want to resolve the issue? The point is, I've said time and again, we need to approach issue of security or insecurity from two perspectives. We need both the software and the hardware approach. Don't forget, there have been state of emergency declared in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe since 2009. Up till now, despite the so-called state of emergency, there have been abduction in 2014 in Chibok. There was an abduction in Dapchi in 2018. There was abduction in Kankara in Katsina State in 2020. Now we have witnessed early in this year another abduction of students in Kagara, Niger State. That is not to mention several other travelers who have been abducted like snails across our major highways. The change in strategy is what we need. Even if we clamp down, in as much as there is high incidence of poverty and unemployment, we will go nowhere. Because many of the people who engages in this kind of criminal activities are not afraid to die. They know the ultimate price is for them to be killed. But while if they can get away with this, they can as well become millionaires. So they had what happened.
Please go ahead.
They had what happened in Kankara, where the state government allegedly paid ransom to secure the release of the 344 students, and they possibly are aware that also in Dapchi and in Chibok, ransom were paid and exchanges were made before the release of those students. So you can see they have released video footage, or they have released footage of the abduction, which is what is being heard on your station now. So kidnapping and abduction has become the easiest way to making money in Nigeria. And they know that government will be under pressure to get these students released and want to possibly quickly pay the needed ransom to get them off arm's way. But in as far as we continue to have high rate of unemployment and idle youth, in as much as we continue to have porous borders, for your information, there is 1,400 illegal entry routes to Nigeria. And these illegal entry routes are areas or ways or pathways through which arms and ammunition can be smuggled into the country. Ammunition being wielded by the kidnappers, as is being shown on your station now. These are not something you purchase in open market. So how did they come about these sophisticated arms? They possibly get it through all these illegal entry routes that are unmanned. And there was a 2016 report of the United Nations that says that out of the estimated 500 million small arms and light weapons circulating in the West African sub-region, Nigeria alone accounts for 350 million of such. And much of these arms and ammunition are in the hands of non-state actors. So you can just imagine that with the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, it becomes increasingly difficult to control how these arms and ammunition are deployed. And while we are focusing on the students that were abducted in Niger State, we should not forget that many travelers have been abducted in that same state, as well as along the Abuja-Kaduna highways. And we need to
that's actually very true. But sorry to cut you here, Mr. Ojo. Now, there's an ongoing debate about granting amnesty to repentant bandits. As a matter of fact, northern governors granted a press briefing shortly after the abduction of the Niger students, and saying that one of the top demands was for federal government to grant amnesty to repentant bandits. Now, what do you make of that argument? In fact, we know that Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has said that he is not willing, that is not a way forward for him. But what do you make of that argument?
It has to be a multi-pronged approach, my sister. Whether the issue is we are in a catch-22 situation. If you say don't grant them amnesty, does the Nigerian state have powers to take on these bandits, to engage them and neutralize them, as they say in military parlance? Can we do that? So we have to deploy both carrot and stick approach. The guy that masterminded the abduction of Kankara schoolboys have come out to embrace peace after the visit, I think after the visit of Sheikh Ahmed Gumi a couple of weeks back. And we need to know who has genuinely repented. I did write in my column in The Punch way back in 2009 that when the federal government under the administration of former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua initiated and granted amnesty to Niger Delta militants, despite the heinous crimes they committed, abducting expatriate workers in the region, vandalizing pipelines, blowing up pipelines, and all of that, that it will turn around to haunt us. So if you say don't grant these bandits amnesty, the northerners will make argument that what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. So if you say amnesty was good for Niger Delta militants. Why then will you say that they should not grant the bandits in the north amnesty? But the point is, those who are to be given amnesty must be genuinely repentant, and there must be some criteria or criterion upon which you base this amnesty. It should not just be blanket. There must be a time frame within which those who are willing to accept amnesty should be given. Maybe it's 3 months, within which after that there will be preparation to have an onslaught against the criminal elements in the north. Even if you decide to not to grant amnesty as Governor Rufai has indicated, the point is, like I said earlier on, do we have the firepower to deal with all the criminal elements across the country? Right now, we have military operations in about 33 states out of 36. And our security agencies are already overstretched. I don't know how well we can rapidly recruit more boots, more men, and how we can rapidly train them and deploy them. And these criminal elements do not operate in the open. They go, when they abduct their victims, they take them kilometers into the forest, where we have not been able to find a creative way to ensure that we deploy drones and CCTV to all these forests to be able to... So
ungoverned spaces remain a major problem for us as a country.
Exactly, my sister. Ungoverned spaces, Niger State, where this incident happened, has an estimated 76,000 square meters of land mass. Much of this space do not have not even police presence, no police post in many of the communities. So what do? Where you have a lot of ungoverned spaces and you have not really fully integrated the community policing system, you cannot but experience this kind of issue. And of course, I've said earlier on, alluded to the fact that we have high level of unemployment and poverty. The statistics in 2018 was that unemployment rate in Nigeria is about 23%. Now, as of 2020, we have the unemployment situation in 2018 was 17% of unemployment. But as of last year, it has climbed up to 23.1%. So you have an army of unemployed youths who are idle, and who, like Abraham Maslow, has not been able to get the basics of lives. And these people having access to, small arms and light weapons can use it maximally to be able to deploy maximum wreak havoc. So by and large, we need to address issue of unemployment and poverty. We need to ensure that those vulnerable people at the grassroots, we take good care of them. I will not say that federal government has not been doing something. After all, we have the social intervention programs of the federal government. 500 billion naira has been earmarked since about 2017. But the impact of this social intervention program has not been felt across the country. Maybe due to paucity of funds, because while they may have appropriated 500 billion for this social investment program, the budget release may be far lower than the amount that was appropriated.
I believe what's really important and for all Nigerians right now is that for the government to actually be on top of the situation and ensure that these students and staff of the school are actually regain freedom as soon as possible. Mr. Ojo, please, we'll take a very short break here, and when we return, we'll divert our attention to speak now on something more political away from the abduction in Niger State. We'll take a short break here, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, gradually, we're getting closer to 2023, and alliances are already being formed amongst politicians across board. Yes, the general elections may seem far away, but we know nothing is too early when it comes to politics. Now, as it is every 4 years, a new wave of defection is looming and has already commenced. Former Deputy Governor of Osun State, Iyola Omishore, has dumped the Social Democratic Party, SDP, for the ruling All Progressives Congress, while former campaign manager or former Vice President Atiku Abubakar Gbenga Daniel has also left the Umbrella Party for the Broom Revolution. These are just two big names that have officially jumped ships, with many others still consulting how to change party ahead of the 2023 elections. With party cross-carpeting being a major characteristic of Nigeria's democracy since 1999, how has these defections helped to grow the democracy and democratic values? Are we beginning to see a wave of defections ahead? Joining me now, or still with me on the program, is Mr. Jide Ojo, a political affairs analyst as well as a columnist. Mr. Ojo, thank you very much for staying with us on the program. Now, what exactly does this or do these defections mean for Nigeria, or for political parties now, for both the APC and the PDP?
Well, it is not uncommon ahead of every general elections to see politicians cross-carpeting or defecting from one party to the other. Recall that as we speak, the All Progressive Congress have started the revalidation and registration of new members. And in the course of that, they have also topped that up with reconciliation. So you saw, was it last week or a couple of weeks back, where in Zamfara State, the Buni-led administration, APC administration, has been able to reconcile Senator Marafa, Senator Kabiru Marafa, and his arch rival, the former governor, is it Abdulaziz Yari? Who they were able to mend fence with, and both of them have agreed to work together. We have also seen before now the defection back to APC of former Speaker of House of Reps, Yakubu Dogara. We have seen the defection of the governor of Ebonyi State, who was a former chairman of PDP in Ebonyi, former acting chairman of PDP in Ebonyi, and now second-time governor of Ebonyi State, defecting from PDP to APC. And ahead of Edo State governorship election, we saw the defection of the Godwin Obaseki from APC to PDP, while in Ondo State, we have seen the defection of the former deputy governor from APC to PDP, and from PDP to Zenith Labour Party. So it is not uncommon to have people defect, because in politics, as you may be aware, in politics, the only thing that is permanent is interest. There's no permanent friendship or enmity. It's all about where your interest is best guaranteed.
But sorry to cut you now. For the persons who have just recently defected now, for Omishore and the likes of Gbenga Daniel, now is this a plus or minus for the APC?
Well, there's a saying that in politics, you bring your enemy closer. You don't even bring them close, you bring them closer. In politics, it's all commerce affairs. You don't have, it's important for you to gain strength than to lose strength. So the more the merrier. The more you have from the opposing side, the more your rank will swell. And because politics is a game of number, you need to understand that it's a game of number. And when the chips are down, these are political heavyweights who have governed, who have won election in the past. Omishoro has been a former deputy governor, has been a former senator. He has contested and won and lost elections. Likewise, Otumba Gbenga Daniel has served 2 terms as the governor of the Gateway State, the Ogun State. So it's an asset for APC. And my worry is that the spate of this defection into APC, APC may implode. And if it implodes, it will be to the benefit of PDP, because this PDP too has gone this way before, when they woo virtually every member of the opposition into their fold in the 16 years they were in government. But what eventually happened to PDP? There was an implosion, and today PDP since 2015 has found itself as the main opposition party. And the similar thing may also happen to APC, because all these political heavyweights that are coming, are you going to ask them to go and queue? Would they not want to have a say in what happens in their state and at the national level in 2023? So it will depend on how the APC will be able to manage this political heavyweight ahead of 2023. But it is instructive for PDP to also get its house in order. Recall that even the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, is being wooed by the ruling party, APC.
Exactly, and maybe that's why leaders of the PDP actually went visiting him some days ago.
Exactly. They were jittery that if somebody like the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, should leave their ranks, it will mark the death knell of PDP. And yet, what we need in Nigeria is a vibrant opposition party. You cannot have a one-party state and think there will be good governance, because I do understand, and it falls within the rights of those who are defecting to the ruling party. We run a food is ready politics, so people tend to follow the money. Nobody wants to be in Siberia, they want to be in Saudi Arabia. Everybody wants to be on the winning path. They want to be where they can get contracts, they can get political appointments, where they can realize their political aspirations of either going to Senate or becoming governor or whatnot. But if there is no vibrant opposition, as we did not have for about 15 years, that before the political nemesis or political Waterloo of PDP, if we don't have opposition, I dare say that there will be no good governance, because the ruling party will want to govern with impunity, and that's the worrisome aspect. I do hope that many of those who are defecting to APC are not doing so in order to get some form of political protection, either from prosecution for their past corrupt deeds or something. Because for some of them, they are answering corruption charges at EFCC, and there are insinuations to the fact that some of these defections may not be unconnected with getting political asylum from prosecution for their previous crime while they were holding previous political offices. But that is at the level of speculation. What I do know is that Nigeria opposition parties need to wake up, rally around, and ensure that they do not allow APC to become a behemoth that can go it alone in 2023. Because if APC, at the way it's going, is able to have more than 2/3 majority in Senate, House of Reps, governorship, and State House of Assembly, democracy may go to tatters, because it then means that there is no need to even cut the opposition for certain things to be done at the level of parliament.
Well,
but like I said, it's within the remit of the rights and privileges of those who are defecting to go and identify with any political party of their choice.
Well, Mr. Jide, we'll just leave it there. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on Analysis. Thank you so much for your time.
The pleasure is mine. Do stay safe and stay blessed.
Yeah. Well, that's it on this episode of Analysis. Well, thank you very much for watching. I am Onyi Adekunle. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.